Hey guys, it's me, 80 Storm 4. Today, guys, we recap with you guys Africa Cup of Nations Match Day 1. Now, I know people will be saying, oh, you were very late and you should be doing this a lot more and everything like that. Guys, I have a very busy life. I have a very busy life. You guys know my semester just started a few days ago. I've been really busy. So, what I'm going to be doing is we're just going to look at every single match of Match Day 1, give you guys my brief thoughts, and then we'll give you guys a Match Day 2 predictions in several hours from now. You know, and it was a very interesting match day one because there's a lot of talking points at start. And a lot of people like to say, oh, this Africa Cup of Nations is boring. It's you can see there's not many goals and everything like that. And what I will say to that is this. Yes, there's not been that many goals. That is true. Okay. But that just shows you that these teams are quality. And that just shows you that the games are pretty balanced. Because when you have a team that is like scoring 4 goals and a team scoring 2 goals, it's not the same thing. And you're seeing how difficult it is. And remember, I told you guys that Africa Cup of Nations is one of the most unpredictable tournaments ever in international football. Like out of all regional tournaments, I would say this is the most unpredictable. And the fact that we are seeing these kind of results is quite interesting. So, like I said, I'm going to give you guys my brief thoughts on each matchup. We're not going to spend too much time because, like I said, there's a lot of matches to discuss. We have to discuss about 12 matches in particular. I'll be here all day for you to discuss every single one in depth. Okay, so let's start with the opening match of Cameroon versus Burkina Faso. In my opinion, this was a game in which Burkina Faso really played well. I thought Burkina Faso, for me, were actually the better team for most of the game, but the thing the thing that really let them down the most was the defense. The defense for them was absolutely brickish. I mean, the fact that they gave away 2 penalties in this game is really really sad. And for Akabura, man, what a guy, scoring a brace of penalties, and for Cameroon in particular, they did look good. And like I said, they did get out the win, and that's important for them to get 3 points in a game in which they didn't really play that well, in my opinion. And for them to get 3 points is massive. For Burkina Faso, man, they should be devastated and giving up those cheap goals, because they basically gifted those goals basically to Cameroon. And for Burkina Faso, man, I think this is a team that is showing potential, showing a lot of promise. And given the fact that they didn't even have some of their best players available, because like I said, I think some of them tested positive. you know, I just think that for me, for Burkina Faso, they need to have those defenders back because I think if they had those defenders back, everything like that, perhaps they could have won this match, maybe even a draw. I don't think Cameroon win this match if Burkina Faso had their best available defenders. So I gotta give it to Cameroon, man, Akabor, man, for scoring a brace of penalties, and he's now the top scorer in the Africa Cup of Nations, which is pretty insane. So yeah, man. Gotta give it to Cameroon, but I will say this though, Cameroon didn't really. I wasn't too impressed with them. But then again, it's the opening match day, and as I said, it's the first game, and like I said, they'll probably get better as the tournament goes on. So important win for them, man. Important win indeed. Let's move on to the next match. Okay, the next match we got here is Ethiopia versus Cape Verde. Now, for me, that sending off for Ethiopia really screwed everything because when I looked at that thing, for me, it was a straight red card. I saw the foul, I saw the thing, and it was like a straight red. It was a denial of a clear goal scoring opportunity, and of course, I think that the right decision was made because when a clear goal scoring opportunity is denied, a red card must be given. And for Cape Verde, I think they really were able to dominate this match because of that. They were able to create many opportunities. And I just think that for me, that goal they scored, Julio Tavares, what a goal that was. And for Ethiopia, man, it's a very frustrating because when you're down to 10 man, you kind of have to defend. I mean, you can't really do much else. And for Cape Verde, they basically put themselves in dreamland. And it was a great performance from them. The stats favored them significantly: 11 shots, 3 on target. Their opponent had 7, 1 on target, more possession, more passes, better pass accuracy, and for Cape Verde, man, picked up the 3 valuable points in this group. And this group is interesting because we have Cameroon top, Cape Verde second, Burkina Faso third, and Ethiopia last. So that match between Cape Verde and Burkina Faso, in my opinion, will determine the second place spot. And that's going to be interesting because I believe Cameroon, let's see, what's their next match? Wow, their next match is match day against Ethiopia. So that match in particular, I think will determine the second place spot. I think Ethiopia, for me, I don't think they're going to do it, man. I don't think they're going to do it. But as I said, you never know. Maybe they could do it, but I don't think Ethiopia is going to get that second place spot, in my opinion. So, got to give up to Cape Verde, man. Got to give up to them. Moving on to the next game, we got Senegal versus Zimbabwe, and I gotta say, man, Senegal. They really had to grind out this win, man. Really had to grind out this win, and I just think for Senegal in particular, the fact they even have some of their key players available for this match is impressive. You know, they didn't have Sar available, Mendy not available, and Koulibaly, and the fact they were able to still get a win is just shows you everything. And for me, for Senegal in particular, I just think they didn't think they were that great in this match. You know, I think for me, Zimbabwe defensively looked a lot solid, and you guys can see the stats are almost very even with Senegal having obviously the bulk of the possession and everything. And for Senegal in particular, that was really crazy. That last minute penalty for me, that was a very very harsh penalty, very harsh one you could argue, and it was definitely harsh indeed. I think it was a pen though, because it was a handball in my opinion, and Senegal and Mane scored in the 97th minute. And when it's interesting because we know Mane isn't really that great when it comes to penalties. We know he can miss some of those penalties, but in this occasion he made it. And you know he's playing as a striker, which is something very interesting for Mane in particular. I think Mane is better suited as a left winger. We know Mane's not really been in good form for Liverpool this season in particular, and so for Senegal, man, they gotta do a little bit better because I wasn't too impressed with them. I wasn't too impressed, and they had to perform better against better quality nations. So yeah, you guys can see that right there. Calvin got the yellow card right in the end, 95th minute. I believe that was what led to the penalty. So yeah, very very interesting indeed. Let's move on over to the next one. Guinea versus Malawi. Wow, Malawi, man, they played really well. Malawi played really, really well. I was really impressed with them, and I just think that for Guinea in particular, man, this whole 5-3-2 formation made them very strong defensively. And you know, it's difficult to break teams down when they're in a back five. And for me, I just think for Malawi, they gotta be disappointed because for me, I think they played really well, but just couldn't score, man. Just couldn't score. 10 shots, 6 on target, less possession, of course. They had more possession, 13 shots, 4 on target. But like I said, guys, what matters most about is getting the goals. And for me, they disappointed, man. They disappointed in that sense. So for Guinea, man, the person that scored the goal for them is Ish Galasila. And let's see who got the assist for that goal. Conte, Jose Conte. Let's see. Yeah, I got that assist there. So uh, very, very interesting indeed. So for Guinea, man, they picked up a crucial 3 points in this game, and that's gonna definitely be very interesting. You guys can see right here, Malawi have the thin options they have. They only have 4 available players on the bench, which is very sad. And we look at the stats. So yeah, man, this is a crucial point for Guinea. 3 points, and that game against Senegal will probably determine the top spot. Malawi versus Zimbabwe, that's going to determine the third place spot in my opinion. So it's going to be interesting to see how this pans out. So for me, very very good result for Guinea. Let's move on over to the next one, which we have Morocco versus Ghana. And I gotta say, man, Ghana looked really bad. The fact that it took Morocco this long to score a goal was quite crazy. And I just think that for Ghana in particular, I was really disappointed with them. The Jordan Ayew brothers, they're just not it anymore. Um, and I just think that this Ghana team was just awful, man. They were just toothless. And I look at this Morocco team in particular, they look really strong. I think for me, what they should have done though is I think, um, maybe if they had Abde in this team, it would have been amazing. You know, Ziyech as well. And I just think that for me, Morocco should have scored 2 or 3 goals. They were that dominant in the match, and it took them forever to score that goal. And so for Buffalo in particular to score that crucial header, I think it was definitely important for them to take home 3 points, and they needed these 3 points, you know. And for Morocco in particular, man, I really expected more from Ghana in particular, and this is the match that I actually anticipated would actually determine the top and second place team. And given how bad Ghana were, I could see Ghana even finishing third or fourth in this group, guys. I could genuinely see that, guys. They were just not that great, you know. And Morocco, man, they really, really should have scored more than one because they were that much better, in my opinion. And the Buffal again has goal there, crucial goal indeed, 83rd minute, and very, very important 3 points in the bag. Perhaps you can say they were one of the more impressive nations. They were one of the more nations that actually were one of the best. Given how most nations of the favorites typically have underperformed, they probably were one of the best. Let's move on to the next one. We got Comoros versus Gabon. And even with Gabon, all the players they had missing, with Aubameyang missing everything like that, and despite even having less possession in the match, less shots, just two on target, they managed to get the dub, and that's ultimately that matters. And it's really interesting because you guys can see the stats right here. Passes they were down, pass accuracy they were down, and it just goes to show you guys the quality of Gabon came up big. And for Aaron Opendeza, to get that crucial goal like that was very, very big. And I just think for Gabon in particular, man, the quality they just possessed was amazing. And for Calmaros in particular, it's devastating because I feel like for me, they didn't play that bad, but they just had to be better in the final third. And that's what really let them down at the end of the day. And so, yeah, man, like I said, though, Comoros, they played well. And, honestly, I think that they, I think they can put their heads held up high. You know, they definitely can do so. So, yeah. Let's move on over to the next one, guys. Next match we got here. Wow, Algeria versus Sierra Leone. What a match this was for Sierra Leone's goalkeeper. Let's take a moment to honor him because he had the game of his life. Mohammad Kamera. He was absolutely brilliant. The amount of saves this guy made was absolutely ridiculous. And you know what's insane? This is the first time Algeria didn't score since 2018. I believe it was in 2018, their entire history, I believe. And it's crazy how this guy in particular kept a clean sheet, guys. He kept a clean sheet against Algeria. And you look at the stats Algeria had 19 shots, 8 on target. Sierra Leone, 10 shots, 1 target. There was one really good chance they should have scored. I think it was just wide, I think. And for Algeria in particular, man, they got to be gutted here. This is a huge drop points here. And this group may not be as straightforward as we thought because we all thought that Algeria would run away with this group. Many of us did. We all thought Algeria would just tear this group apart. But now they've been held against Sierra Leone, and that game against Ivory Coast is big. And let me just see when that match is going to take place. Algeria versus Ivory Coast. Oh, that's going to take place on match day 3. My bad. But still, man, Algeria, man, they got to do better. And I think for Algeria in particular, they shouldn't be too frustrated in my opinion because they did play well, but they just couldn't score. These are the type of games where one team could just go insane defensively, especially a goalkeeper, and the other team could not be that great. And yeah, like I said, in the second half, it was all Algeria. Algeria dominated the second half entirely and definitely should have scored more goals. And so for Algeria in particular, man, they got to be disappointed. But honestly, I don't think they should be too frustrated because, like I said, they just couldn't score, and they're obviously not going to face Sierra Leone again. And I'm sure that when they face Equatorial Guinea and against Ivory Coast, they'll be able to score at least one. So for Algeria, this is disappointing in a sense, but like I said, though, I do think that they'll be fine ultimately in the long run. As for Sierra Leone, who knows? Maybe this team could actually go through the knockout stage. Maybe this team could be one of the best 4 third place teams because remember, guys, they could get a draw against Ivory Coast, and maybe with this goalkeeper performance they had, they can maybe try to beat Equatorial Guinea. Try to get 5 points here, which would be probably enough for a third place finish. So for our Sierra Leone, man, got to give it to them. I still cannot believe that guy with the goalkeeper is 22 years old. The amount of saves he made was absolutely ridiculous. So I got to give it up to them. Got to give it up because I honestly thought Algeria would run away with this game. I thought Algeria would destroy Sierra Leone by 4 or 5-0, honestly. And the fact that they couldn't score a single goal just tells you everything. And then we're moving on to the next one. We got Nigeria versus Egypt. And I got to say, man, Nigeria looked really, really good. I was really impressed with Nigeria. This, I think, in my opinion, was the most impressive nation in the Africa Cup of Nations. This nation in particular looked really solid. I'm going to give it up to this guy, man. Egovin. This is his first match in charge of Nigeria. And Nigeria played scintillating football. The only negatives, if you're Nigerian, would be the attack. You'd be disappointed that you only scored 1 goal. But man, oh man, they should have scored 2 or 3 goals. They were that much brilliant. And Victor Moses, man. Man, he was great in this game. I was really, really impressed with Moses Simmons. Actually, not Victor Moses, sorry. Moses Simmons was pretty good in this match. He was amazing in this match. And the Iheanacho, man, what a goal that was. A beautiful goal indeed. And for Nigeria in particular, they looked defensively solid, man. As for Egypt, man, they were disappointing. In the first half, they basically didn't really play. And basically, they put Salah as a striker, which, in my opinion, Carlos Queiroz, that was a bad decision indeed. Why is Salah playing as a striker? He is not a striker. He's a winger. He's like an inside forward. He cannot be played as a striker. And for me, Egypt, they were too pragmatic. They were way too pragmatic in this game. And the second half, they did try to churn up the second half. And many people even say this Egypt team was like Burnley, winning long balls over the top for Salah to feed through. And we saw how this didn't work in the Africa Cup of Nations 2019, in which they got eliminated by South Africa in 2019. And for Egypt in particular, man, for a nation of this caliber, for the talent they have, they cannot go in the round of 16 back to back. They cannot. They got to at least make the quarters. But man, Nigeria, man, what a performance this is. And as I said, man, I think Nigeria, for me, they were the most impressive nation on match day one. And Egovan, man, what a victory this is. And like I said for before, man, Iheanacho, man, what a goal that was. Brilliant goal indeed. And yeah, man, I mean, we got to see who got the assist there. Arabo got the assist there, man. It was a great, great performance from Iheanacho in particular. And for Egypt, like I said, man, it just didn't work. It just didn't really work, their tactics. And for Egypt in particular, they should be able to beat Sudan and Guinea-Bissau, which by the way, both those teams drew. By the way, which we'll get into a bit. And I just think that for me, if they're able to beat those two nations, they'll be able to get the second place spot, which you would fancy, right? But for Egypt, it's gonna be tricky because they're gonna be facing. Because I think Nigeria is gonna top this group now with this victory, and Nigeria is gonna be facing Egypt will face the winner of the top group F E runner up. No, what am I saying? Group E winner, which I believe is gonna be it's gonna be either Ivory Coast or Algeria, and that's gonna be a very difficult match for them. So we'll see what they do, man. We'll see what they do. And then coming up into the final match that we have Sudan and Guinea-Bissau. Actually, that's Tuesday. And I gotta say, man, crazy, crazy match indeed. In Guinea-Bissau, Sudan, man, they played really well. Played really well. And for Guinea-Bissau, man, they had that penalty, which they should have scored, man. How did they not score that? And Pele missed the penalty. He even missed the rebound as well. And they even sub him off just after he missed the penalty. And for Guinea-Bissau, man, this is huge drop points. Because for me, Guinea-Bissau should have won this match. We saw that Guinea-Bissau were able to beat Sudan in the qualifiers. And the fact they were unable to beat is interesting. So Sudan, man, got to give it up to them because I think they put out a good performance indeed. I think, in my opinion, were probably the better team on the day. It was a very even game, though. So, like I said, though, big missed opportunity for Guinea-Bissau. And I think for both teams in particular, this is a huge, huge draw points because now you don't even fancy their odds against Nigeria and Egypt. I mean, on paper, neither of these teams are going to make the round of 16. And I think for both teams in particular, neither of them make it the round of 16. It's going to be Egypt and Nigeria, unless they somehow pick up a draw against either Egypt or Nigeria, which I think will be very, very unlikely. Maybe against Egypt because of how bad Egypt were, but certainly not against Nigeria. Certainly not against Nigeria, man. Oh, man. And finally, moving to the final match day, and we got the drama in this game, guys. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, this was very, very traumatic indeed. And for the referee in particular, man, I don't know what to say. This game was marred by referee controversy because that first goal from Ibrahim Kone from the penalty spot, then Tunisia even had a penalty themselves. They missed it. Khazri missed it. And I think I saw in the highlights that Khazri even had a free kick, which was saved. And then what happened was that in the 85th minute, there was a red card challenge. VR didn't even say it's a red card. The referee still gave the red card, and he even decides to end the game at the 85th minute. Dude, I mean, this referee, whoever's refereeing this match, there's no way he's going to referee another match because this guy was completely atrocious. And for Mali, man, they pick up a valuable, huge 3 points in a game of which it was marred by controversy, as I said. Tunisia, for me, think they probably were the better team. But like I said, though, Mali scored that penalty, and it's going to be interesting because this is a group that I don't know what to say, man. This one is just bonkers, to say the least. And for Tunisia, they must be very, very mad right now in that we weren't able to play the full match. Down to 10, they were down to 10 men. We should probably be able to score at least one goal, given the fact they're down to 10 men, especially with their striker sent off, it's gonna be difficult for Mali to win the match. And so, if I'm Tunisian fan, I would feel very devastated, feel very hard done by, and I'd be very mad right now. So for Mali, man, huge win indeed. 3 points, and maybe Mali could go on a dark horse. Maybe they could be the dark horse of this Africa Cup of Nations. I'm seeing a lot of people say they'll make the quarters and everything like that. I'm like, maybe they could surprise people. Maybe they could. Okay, and maybe Tunisia will exit early, guys. So yeah, man. And then finally, we have the penultimate game. We have Mauritania versus Gambia, and man, Gambia, man, they played really well. But this is a crazy stat. See this, guys? 20 shots. 20. 20 shots. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. And Gambia, man, this was a surprise. I didn't expect that Gambia to do this. And the fact they were able to pick up a 1-0 win here with Jalal scoring the goal was insane. And for Mauritania going the back 5-3-2, man, I mean, this is insane. And the goal assister was Musa Baro, who plays for Syria club Bologna. And crazy, man. I mean, the fact they're able to get a win here is crazy. And I think against all odds as well, because I know a lot of people, I think they predicted Mauritania to come third, Gambia to come fourth. I actually predicted Gambia to come third, by the way. I predicted Gambia to come third. And I just think that for me, this is a big result for them with Albi Jalal scoring the goal. So, man, huge 3 points indeed. And this was definitely a shock, man. Definitely shocking. The 8 shots, 3 on target, 39% possession. Stats definitely tell that Mauritania were the better team, but as I said before, guys, they got the job done. And that's ultimately what really matters. And you guys can see in Group F how interesting things are and how close the group is, man. And then finally, we move on to the final match we have. It is Equatorial Guinea versus Ivory Coast. And Ivory Coast, man, how did they only score 1? And it's Max Allen Grado, man. This is the Ivory Coast team. They have so much talent. You have Cornet. You have Haller. You have Kessie. Bailly. You have so much talent. Zaha. And Pepe as well. The fact that we're only able to score 1 is just very concerning to me. And you know what's even more crazier, guys? The stats look pretty even. The stats look pretty darn even. Shots on target looks pretty even. Possession, obviously, Ivory Coast have more. Passes, I mean, it's just insane, guys. And for Ivory Coast, man, I mean, they got it done when it mattered. But, I mean, as I said before, guys, this Africa Cup of Nations, man, it's been very, very tense and very much dramatic indeed. And like I said, guys, I think in match day 2, we'll see a lot more goals. Because, like I said, guys, it's just the first match. And like I said, many of these nations didn't even play any friendlies prior to the competition, I think. Many of these nations, I don't think, played friendly. So it kind of makes sense why a lot of these nations were in a bit of a runt and why none of the nations really went on scoring sprees. And I think on match day 2, we'll definitely see a lot more goals. I think we'll see a lot more goals. I think more nations will open up trying to search for the goals. And with more nations going more attack-minded, we'll probably see more goals. So, like I said, more goals doesn't necessarily... lesser goals doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. It just shows you that it's very, very close indeed. The margin is very close. And remember I told you guys, the Africa Cup of Nations, it's very unpredictable. Many of these top nations haven't looked that great. And the only really 2 standout nations you could probably argue are Morocco and Nigeria in particular. So that's it for my Matchday 1 recap. I went around for 23 minutes. It was a pretty long video. If you guys have any thoughts, if you guys have any additional thoughts for the matches that I did cover, let me know in the comment section below. Like I said, guys, there's just so much to discuss, guys. And it was, I'll do Matchday 2 predictions in several hours from this video recording. Hopefully, can get that out as soon as I can. And should be very interesting Matchday 2. So, hope you guys did enjoy. If you're new around here, make sure you guys consider liking, commenting, and subscribe. Check out my description below for my Twitter, Discord, and my email. And I'll be Twitch. And I'll see you guys later. Peace out.